Hello, I'm Bill Laberis. I am the editorial director of the Enterprise CIO Forum. I'm talking today with Joel Dobbs, who is the CIO of Eisai, Inc. And we're talking about the demands for IT and the whole enterprise to be as responsive as it possibly can. Joel, thank you very much for joining me today.
It's good to be here.
Now, there's been a conspiracy of sorts of Wi-Fi, mobile computing, cloud computing, etc., creating a generation of users that want instant access, instant response from the IT department. What kinds of pressures is this putting on IT management today?
Well, one of the things it's causing us to have to do is really be a lot more flexible and a lot more responsive and a lot more creative in our thinking. But I think one of the tremendous opportunities here, and I think it's important to look at this as an opportunity, not as a threat, is that we have a whole generation of young people who have been raised and schooled in technology different to what my generation is. Give you an example. I've got two sons now in college, but both of them can sit at the kitchen table with their laptop. One is doing his homework, he's watching a movie, he's texting a friend, yet he can continue to function like that. Now that whole generation is going to enter the workforce in a few years. And some of them are entering now. And the real challenge, I think, is how do we take that multitasking ability, the ability to do creative things with small form factors like an iPhone or something. How do we take that into the marketplace and exploit that capability to help these people be much more productive and creative than they could be if we forced them into the old model of the laptop at the desk and the one phone on the desk type of model. I think that's a real challenge for industry, and it's a real challenge for technology organizations to really think about how we exploit that.
Wow, that's a great example, a great anecdote of what you talk about multitasking and the impact on the IT organization potentially. How important is it going to be, in your view, for IT to embrace this consumerization wave?
I think it's absolutely critical because it isn't going away. And what you begin to see is that people can do all this stuff with their iPhone, with their Android phone, with their BlackBerry or whatever device they have, and they come into the office with the question of, why can't I do that here? And that is a perfectly fair question, and it's one that needs to be answered. Now granted, we have to balance certain things like regulations that may affect us or in a given industry, or things like the need for security and privacy and all those kind of things. But those can be done. It just takes some creativity and it takes some careful thought. But to try to ignore this and hope it'll go away is simply not going to happen, and those who do that at their own peril.
Well, Joel, in terms of IT embracing and supporting this movement, what's going to stand in the way the most? Is it going to be technological issues or is it going to be human issues?
It's going to be human issues. The technological ones, for the most part, those are solvable. What I have found is that, there's an old adage that IT projects rarely fail because the technology doesn't work. They usually fail because the humans don't work correctly. And I think that's the case here. The technology is for the most part pretty sound. It has its quirks, but the reality is it's managing and leading change that's the real issue here. And I think it becomes, on the part of IT organizations, it's really learning to be more flexible. It's learning to embrace change rather than run from change. And I think that's the real challenge in this space, is recognizing that all of these capabilities bring not only tremendous benefit to people's personal lives, but if we use those creatively in the workplace, we have the ability to really transform the workplace and really help our people be much more effective, much more creative, much more innovative in the long run. And that's good for business.
Well, Joel Dobbs, CIO of Eisai, Inc., thank you very much for joining us today. Great insights on this whole consumerization move.
Thank you.
And I'm Bill Laberis of the Enterprise CIO Forum saying thank you for joining me as well.